I was supposed to Christmas shop today. Well, I know what I'm doing now. Didn't want to go out, but I have no choice. Huh. That's weird. That's where I would go every weekend for Toys R Us. Maybe they move locations. That makes a lot of sense. Let me check. Huh. Looks like they did. Well, guess we better go there now. That's weird. This is a Macy's. Maybe Toys R Us is on the other side. Huh. This isn't Toys R Us. What the fuck?
It's me, Mario.
I don't wanna grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
That one didn't age quite so well.
When you think of the holiday season and shopping, typically there's one big store that comes to mind if you were born in the 80s and 90s, and that store is Toys R Us. Originally founded in 1948, Toys R Us used to have the name Children's Bargain Town. It was a store that mainly focused on baby furniture, but in less than 10 years in 1957 it was changed to Toys R Us. A whole store dedicated just to kids' toys versus baby furniture. For many of us, Toys R Us was pretty much your one-stop shop for not only toys, but video games during the birthday and holiday season. Toys R Us was different. Toys R Us had something that KB Toys didn't. A warehouse full of toys. It's a pretty big warehouse. Anything could be here. Anything. Any toy you could possibly think of or saw on TV back in the day, they had it. If you wanted Power Wheels, check. If you wanted video games, which system and what game. If you wanted action figures, sure. Which ones? If you wanted Barbies, cool. Do you want a Playhouse with that? Up until closing, I still shopped at Toys R Us and grabbed Amiibos when I could. But before we get into the fall of Toys R Us, let's go back to some of my fondest memories of Toys R Us. I remember as early as 5 years old being in front of the TV and seeing the commercials for being a Toys R Us kid. Now, I didn't exactly know what that meant, but there was toys there and there was kids there hanging out, so I was like, sweet, why am I not there? And after seeing the commercial, I pretty much begged my mom to take me there for about a week. Same thing when it came time for the catalogs that came out during the holiday season. A big ass book full of toys and video games. What's not to love? Oh shit. Now, did I end up getting everything from Santa Claus that year? Typically not even close. But just the sheer excitement of looking through all those toys and seeing what was out there blew my mind. Now, you may be asking yourself, Dylan, what is more fun than circling toys in a catalog for the holiday, knowing you're not going to get most of them? And the answer is quite simple. It's going to buy the toys yourself. But unfortunately for me, my Jeep Power Wheels only went about half a mile of charge. But I had something even better. Something you'd call a broken home. That's right, my parents were separated and I got to see my dad on the weekends. We'd hop in Dad's Trans Am and take a ride to Toys R Us and walk around for what felt like hours looking at the same toys over and over again until we made up our minds on what we wanted. Now, the older I got out of toys more and more. But thankfully, Toys R Us had the teenager market right there. Video games as far as the eye could see. They even gave it a nickname and called it the R Zone. There was something so cool about grabbing the piece of paper of the game you wanted, then bringing it up front and they'd hand you the actual game. I don't know why, but that just seemed so cool. And the consoles were locked behind a glass case on the other side of the paper games. It's also where my mom bought the gold N64.
Oh man, a gold N64? When can I play with it?
Never. I already told you this is mine, not yours.
Okay.
But unfortunately, as I got older, I kind of grew out of Toys R Us. I'd go once in a while for video games, but that was about it. And then GameStop opened up next to me, so I really didn't have the need to go to Toys R Us anymore. And I'm pretty sure that's the same thing for a lot of us out there. We grew up. But before the flame officially burnt out, there was one thing I needed to do. And that was go to the biggest Toys R Us in the world. Toys R Us, New York City. And then after going to that Toys R Us and the Nintendo store in New York City, something grew in my heart. The passion for video games. But unfortunately for Toys R Us, it was too late. You had stores like Amazon, even Walmart was a big competitor to Toys R Us, and a big factor to why they went bankrupt. At least in the US, because there were a few in Canada that stuck around. But then something crazy happened that could bring it all back in a snap. Nostalgia! 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 That's right, everyone was so depressed because of everything going on in the world that they went back to the one thing that made them happy. Their childhood. Okay, well, maybe not their childhood, but the things that made them happy in their childhood. And slowly, Toys R Us started coming back. Not to what they were back then, but they're still around. New Jersey had American Dream Mall open up, which was its independent store. Not the same size as the original Toys R Us, but a pretty decent size. Enough of a size for a kid to get lost in there for hours. And then you had the Macy's collab. Every Macy's in America now has a small area dedicated to Toys R Us. Now, it's something. It really is something, but it's not really the same thing as an actual store or the old Toys R Us. And who knows what could happen in the future? We could see another big boom, maybe of more spaced out stores and less frequently, but of normal sized Toys R Us's again. Jesus. How long have I been out? That's what I get for watching Toys R Us commercials. What could that be? Huh, that's weird. Especially around this time of year. Yellow.
Hey Dylan, you still doing this YouTube thing?
Yep. How you doing, Paul?
Good, you got the mandatory Christmas special, right?
What do you mean I have to do...
Wait, what? You don't have it done yet? How the are you going to be a YouTuber without a holiday special?
Maybe I don't want to do it.
Why not?
Because everyone does them.
Who cares?
Everyone on YouTube has done a holiday special.
I don't care. Listen, Dylan, I'm your lawyer. And if you don't make it big, then that means I don't get paid. Either you do the holiday special, or maybe my friends come pay you a little visit, huh?
Hello? Well, now I just need a good idea for a holiday special.